Start recording. I'm going to take my face.
Okay, so for Google Docs, there are actually some new features I noticed putting this training together that I haven't tried. So I don't know how they work exactly, but I'm hoping they're pretty self-explanatory, and there's nothing like jumping in when you start. So let me screen share here. Okay, everybody can see the presentation link?
Yes.
All right. So Google Docs is kind of the main word processing tool for Google. So kind of the goals today is to make sure that you guys feel comfortable creating and navigating Google Docs. Kristen, what do you teach?
I teach elementary PE.
Okay, so we have a elementary PE, a math, and a science teacher in here, correct? So
Yes.
I don't, you may have some papers here and there, but obviously there are some other functions to this that we obviously use. So take out of it what you can. And then create a Google Doc you can use in class, and then learn how to give feedback in Docs. So if this is a tool that you want to use as partner work or even some type of assessment, it's pretty easy to give feedback in on, or just collaborating with a partner or having kids collaborate with each other as well. And again, kind of why is Google important? It's all cloud-based, so it's anytime, anywhere. You can actually, there's a Google Doc app on phones that you can have functionality to. So you could be literally sitting on a beach with your phone, being able to be productive, essentially, with this. And you don't have to worry about saving things ever. So I know, at least my experience growing up was that I'd be typing on a Word document and it'd crash, and then it'd be gone, and then you'd have to start over or hope that it had some version saved magically on your computer somewhere, but would have to start over somewhere. And then trying to get feedback on it, you keep sending it back and forth, and it's just difficult. So Google Docs breaks down all of those, and just Google in general. So Google Docs, again, is a word processing program, and it is very similar to Word. And I would say, too, that most of your skill set, if you can handle Word, then you can handle this, and vice versa. If you know nothing but Google Docs, you should be able to jump on Word pretty quickly and get going there. There are a couple links there we're not necessarily going to use right now, but they're kind of reference guides to how to do it, and then some videos as well. All right, so I'm going to attempt to do this with two screens here, but to get to Docs, there's a couple ways. There's several ways, actually. You can go to the Apps button on Chrome and go to Docs, which I've grayed out, but you can go to Drive and hit New. And then it'll eventually load here, Docs. You could also just type in and search Google Docs. You can also just put docs.new and it'll pop up. But anyway, once you get to a new doc, it comes as a blank piece of paper. And that's essentially what it is a word processing paper. The title is up here, and this is how you can rename it. And I will say, if you're not too familiar with Google and Drive in general, you can add this title as many keywords as you want. But this is Google Docs Training 101. So it'll automatically save there. And then again, it'll show up in your Drive under that title. And then you can also, any word you type in here. So let's say I was a biology teacher. If I write mitosis in here, I can actually search in your Google Drive account mitosis, and it'll pull up this doc, even though it's not in the name. So the organization of Google can be difficult at times, but hopefully not. Okay, so page setup is the first thing. So this is under File, just as it would be in Word. And then there is a page setup. So this is how to make it portrait or landscape, so vertical or horizontal. And you can mess with the margins. The margins are defaulted to this, and then you can change the color. The size as well, you have all sorts of ways to kind of change that size, but then it'll show up on there. The other option is, if you know Word, there's a lot of really nice kind of templates that you can use for resumes, for all sorts of different types of documents. Google is no different. It has a lot. But if you go to a new doc from template, and if you just go to the Google Docs website, these will already kind of show up before you open a new doc. But what it will show is all of the different types of templates that you can do. So you don't have to create everything from scratch. And again, it even has an essay on cells, which is kind of nice. But there is a lot of templates, and it just kind of keeps going. And then there is also a lot that people have made and put on the web. So, you know, if you're looking for something specific, perhaps a PE lesson or a math lesson in docs, just search for it on Google, and chances are you're going to find something, because luckily teachers are willing to share quite a bit. So there is that template piece that you can do within Google Docs as well. The text formatting is all along here, but you can also kind of go with the format and different types of text there. So does it have everything that Word has? I would say not. But what this is it's all coded through HTML5. It's not a standalone program. So there are some limitations because it is essentially, as it shows up here, it is just a website. So this website has been programmed well enough to act as a word processor. So mitosis, we're going to keep with that. The default is Arial and 11, and you can look at and preview all of the given fonts. So it does definitely have Times New Roman. I think Word is defaulted at 12. This is defaulted at 11, probably just to be different. And then you have bold, italicized, underline. This is the text color, and you can customize it as you want. Highlight color, as you have seen. If you want to center it, right align, left align. And then there's also the spacing. So how many spaces you want in between your lines of text is all in here as well. So all of, I believe, at least the key features of Word, you are going to find in here in terms of being able to manipulate at least text. Okay, and then the other nice thing is that Word does this as well, but because this is already in a browser, you could put in www.vcscschools.org. It's going to hyperlink already, or if you want to hyperlink, you can highlight it and connect this link, and it's going to offer suggestions first off. So it actually may link to something else in your Google Drive, or it's going to give some suggestions it finds just off of Google. Schools.org. So one of the interesting things, or at least a little bit different kind of methods that Google uses for hyperlinks, is when you click on it, it doesn't automatically go there. It'll bring up the website, and you click on it again, and then it will pop up. And that's nice. Oh, I put school. That's really bad.
That's what I thought. Another one.
Like, that's okay. So then, oh,
Yeah, the
still
VCS.
going there. So there, my link is broken. I need to just relink it, and now it should go.
This should exist.
We are part of that.
Yes. Okay. So those are your essential kind of general formatting tools for at least Google. And then also you're able to insert a lot, which is nice. You can't insert YouTube videos at this point, but it is tied to a resource full of images. So you can upload it from the computer and that's fine. You can copy and paste it in from, you know, another document you have, and that would include pictures that you may have already existing, or you can just search the web and it pulls straight from Google Images. So we can bring in mitosis, and not only are these images, it's not exactly what you're going to find on Google Images because these are all okayed for reuse. So they're actually okay to stick in a document and they're not going to have the copyright concerns. So that's inserting image. And then you also can pull directly from your drive. If it's connected to Google Photos and you use that, you can pull it in directly from there, or even just take a camera. So there is some nice features in there that wouldn't necessarily be there for other things for images.
Can you show me insert let me click insert and the equation? There's a
These,
equation.
the special characters and equation.
Equation, yeah, click equation. How do we use that?
Yeah. I'm gonna get there in a minute. Is that all right?
Okay,
Paula?
okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that was, I think, on my next slide.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure I got some of the basic things here. You can insert bullet points as well, and they're here, or numbered lists or kind of columns like that. So if you do have, well, let me just start with that. So prophase, anaphase, and really it's metaphase. You can get the bullet points there and have the lists. And then you can also format, at least wise, add columns. So you are able to, and this is actually relatively new in the last couple of years, split your document into 2 columns. I will say that as Google kind of always does, it just updates automatically. So you will come in here sometimes and just find a brand new tool like compare documents. So they're constantly updating all of their productivity tools, and they just kind of show up like that. Okay, so I've at least gone through this list. Are there any questions on those?
No.
Pretty straightforward, I hope.
No, that's fine. You did good. Thank you.
You're good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so the next one, which are some kind of cool features that aren't always in Word, at least since I've been using it, is a table of contents pretty easily. So what this does is it will automatically, if you have a running list of, I don't know, notes or something like that, if you use these titles, subtitles, and headings, and these are all very common for, in like a normal website, it would be for tabbing. But I can say that, let me get here real quick. I can mark this as the title, and then I can mark this as a, let me put in a heading here, website link, and tie that in as a, let's say, a subtitle, and mitosis information. So what it'll do is you can insert a table of contents, and what it'll do is, sorry, it will, oh, and I inserted it in down there, but it puts it in where you want it, but you essentially have hyperlinks to everything that you need, And if it's a really long document, then this helps a lot because it creates a kind of mapping for your website or for this, not website, but for this document immediately, which is obviously pretty nice. So let me see if I can get it to work better here. Sorry. There we go. So if this shows up, the website link or mitosis link, if it shows up on a certain page, so I can put this way down on a different page, then I could come back up here on the table of contents and it'll hyperlink me right to that point. So it is kind of nice to have when you have many pages.
Writing paper, any paper, like if you're writing.
Yep.
Research paper or something like that.
Oh yeah, or like yeah, even lab reports would be nice if you could link to your analysis, to the data, if you're able to use this for that right off the bat. Kids don't have to take time to do it. They can just
automatically.
Yep.
I would say it's good for study guides too. Like if you're prepping for a test and you have all of the different sections or even for a final.
Yep. All right. Special characters are the next one. So this is still kind of on insert. It has nearly everything in terms of different types of, it even has emojis that you can stick in here. So if you're looking for symbols or for just different language letter formats, hopefully it is in here and you can search it and then insert it. It is kind of, I will say, like, let's say we put in those, you know, you essentially have to insert it every time unless you copy and paste it. So it's not going to automatically format to that style, but you can insert those special characters in there. And then the equations are the next one. So insert equations. And it is going to put the equation symbol guide up here. So you have obviously your numbers and kind of basic ones on your keyboard, but this hopefully will allow you to add some mathematical symbols that aren't going to show up commonly on a keyboard. Now, again, geometry, Ma, I don't necessarily know if that's going to help you a lot.
Okay. But when you click that special symbol, they will automatically come out, or you have to copy paste on.
Oh no, it'll automatically come in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that is nice. And then if you're able to use, hopefully search for things as well on Google Images, if there's certain graphs or things like that, I think that's helpful too. But you know, math is always kind of tricky. So
Right.
hopefully there's some things out there too that you can use or at least steal from and copy and paste. But that
Okay.
equation one is just the symbols.
Okay.
And then obviously chemistry too. Hopefully you can use some of the arrows and the subscripts and superscripts for chemical equations if you can't steal them from existing documents. The translate is nice as well. I probably shouldn't stick to the biology terms, but you can, if you have a student that has some language barriers, they have the ability. It's not even that you have to do it, but just kind of knowing that there is a whole translate document. So it'll use Google Translate and translate it. So it's not going to be 100% perfect, but it will help hopefully break down some of that academic language for your students if needed.
So if we have any notes in English and I can just put that here on this Google Doc, will that automatically change that to Spanish or something?
Yep, it will. And I didn't add that in here, but I'm gonna show you here in a minute. Let me get through these first though, but yeah, it will. So that's obviously pretty nice. There is drawing capabilities in here. So what this does, and again, it may be easier on a touchpad, but you can use your mouse, is that you do have word art, so if you want this really fun, I don't know if it's fun or not, but it does give you kind of the ability to change and mess with word art, which is, you know, kind of the colorful outline text. You do have options there, but then you also have the ability to put in arrows and lines and even scribble. So you can use it as a drawing tool of sorts, and then save and close, and it'll actually put it in there just as an image. So just kind of know that with any inserted Google drawings or that the art, that it will be inserted as like a JPEG, a picture image. But you can bring in images, so you could potentially bring in a saved document of an equation or of a process, and then you can scribble over it on top of it and label it if you want, and put it in the document as well. So
the image only come from your document, or you can get at any website?
you can get it at any website. So you
Okay.
can even do URL there. But I
Okay.
could search for, I'm gonna look for mitosis again, keep on that theme. Somebody brought that up earlier today. So I could bring in here and then start labeling the,
Okay, come out.
I can
Okay.
either add text boxes, or I could do a scribble or curved line, or even shapes if you want to, you know, have a student identify a certain piece. What's circled there, and stick a big arrow next to it if you want. So there are different options. I don't know if this is always the easiest tool to make kind of guides off of, but it is an option. Anybody know what this is? What phase this is? No? All right. This is metaphase. Okay. All right. So we have some of that. Okay. Another, and these are kind of more accessibility tools. So if I would type in elephant, you can go to a dictionary, which is obviously pretty nice, and it will tell the student what it is. So if you go ahead.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definition already come out.
It's really nice. And then the other thing you can do with it is you can hit this. Does everybody see the explore button that I'm hovering over in the bottom right? You can click the explore button and it will, oh shoot. It'll give you kind of everything related to that. I don't know why it didn't give me elephant though. I guess I can do it here. But this essentially is like, oh, why is it doing that? Sorry. There you go. It essentially is like browsing the internet for something within the document. But not only that, you can just insert an image right into your document from there, which is pretty nice. Or you can pull something from your website. And let's say I want to quote
Citation.
this.
Yeah.
It will even create a
So long.
What was that?
I didn't know about that little hack for like the longest time. And then when I learned it, I was like, oh my gosh, that would have saved me so much time.
I'm sorry, I missed it. Where did you reach this explore?
It's on the bottom right. And really, it's in every Google thing, I believe. I don't know if it's in slides. It is. So it is built in everywhere, including Excel. So if you're on a spreadsheet, it'll suggest what graphs and what equations you want to use. But this is essentially, again, kind of a built-in tool to do research on within the document itself.
Oh, okay.
So it is pretty cool, that part. And then the other accessibility piece is just the speech to text. So like I know my daughter had a paper that was due and she was running late and she's a slow typer. So we just told her like just speech to text it and go back and edit it. So it does a pretty good job of picking up what you say and translating it to text on a Google Doc. And then all the student has to do is potentially fix some punctuation, and it essentially writes a paper as they are speaking into their device.
That saves you a lot of time.
Yeah. Yes, we hope so.
Voice typing, that's under tool.
That's under tools and voice typing, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yep. Did I even put that on there? Yeah. Okay. So I do want to put this on, and I'm just going to add it to the agenda here, is existing documents. So there's a couple of ways to do already existing documents that you have that are in Word, but not in Docs. So one way to do that is if you're in Drive, you can add through a file upload a Word document. So it is possible to, oh man, I'm gonna have a hard time finding one of these. Let's see if there's one in there. Yes, so here's one.
Yeah.
Is that okay to pull up? There's a request for a proposal, so that's pretty boring. So you can bring in existing Word documents into Google Drive and open it, and it will bring it into this viewer. And again, this was typed in Word. And then you have the option up here to open with Google Docs, and you can edit it and it will save. So that is one pathway to work in a Word document through Google and at least have that cloud-based experience. But you'll notice that put a DocX button up here, and that is just to kind of show that, you know, you are still working in that type of file type, and it'll actually save that way too. You have to every time open it using Google Docs, and it already built a table of contents. I didn't even have to worry about that, but this is a massive document, so I'm going to back out of there. The other way is if you want to convert it to a Google Doc and just get rid of that Word, is when you're in Google Docs, if you open it directly, and this again would apply for Sheets and Excel and also for PowerPoint and slides. So you can insert a PowerPoint in Google Drive and open it in Slides, or you can do a, I'm gonna have to remember now, an open from Google Docs, and then you can select the file that you want to upload, and it'll convert it into a Google Doc. I'm making sure.
So how about your PDF can convert it to Word?
Brittany, do you know that answer? Will it do a PDF if you open it?
If I have a PDF, I want to convert it to Microsoft Word. Can we do that? Use Google Doc?
Sometimes it looks okay, but in my experience, a lot of the times if I try to convert a PDF into even just a Word document or a Google Doc, there's some weird symbols and characters that pop up, or the formatting's off.
Oh.
There are some extensions out there, Google Chrome extensions, that can convert PDFs into docs. I was in a training or something the other day and someone said one of them, and I'd never used it before. Let me see if I can find the name of it real quick.
Okay.
But as you can see on this one now, this is a Google Doc, right? This is not a Word document anymore. Whereas, and I probably missed it, this one is still very much a Word document that I just edited within Google Docs, but didn't convert it. So this is all, again, relatively new within the last 2 years or so of being able to edit within this view and have it be still a Microsoft product, But again, if you want a full conversion that's a little bit easier to manipulate, then I would go to File and then Open, and then you actually, it'll make a Google Doc out of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Brenny, just chime in if you find that. We do have some software, but it's limited, that will do that, the PDF to Word conversions for you, Ma. So, that's something you can talk to your department chair about getting. It's just a limited quantity. So there are certain people who have it in the school. I don't know if the department chairs do or not off the top of my head, but there are tools if this doesn't work. But like Brenny said, any PDF, it's essentially trying to take almost an image and make it into a word processing type of file, and that's difficult.
Yeah. Because the Word is easier to modify.
Yep.
Compared with PDF.
Okay. So then
I found it.
Okay.
I'll put the link in the chat. It's called Small PDF.
Small PDF?
Small,
Yes.
no space, right? Small PDF capital or?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll put the link to add the extension in the chat.
Okay.
Not used it before, but I saw a tutorial yesterday where a teacher was using it.
Okay. So then the next piece comes of, all right, how is this tool, again, kind of easy to use when you're virtual, or even not, if you're working, just being productive, is that you can give feedback. So let's say you made a student make a 5 GB internet egress request for a proposal, which you would never do. You can go through here and find something that you don't like, and an easy way to give feedback that actually will notify your student as well is just to either, you can hover over it, you can highlight what you want to give feedback on, and then there's this comment button. Comment buttons aren't in all Google products, but they are, again, in the main ones. And you can just simply write your comment in there of, I think this should be for 3 years, hypothetically. And then I can hit comment, and then everyone can see that, including the student. So it is a nice way to not, how sometimes you can give someone a document that you want them to review and they could just completely redo it and it's not yours anymore. This is a really easy way just to be off to the side. I think you should do this. The person can see exactly what they wrote, and then also get what you got. And then whoever that's shared with, they have the option to reply, and you can have a conversation over in the margin here, or you can just simply hit resolve, and it'll go away. So that is, I think, a very nice tool that allows you to give feedback. And also, just if you're collaborating with someone too, students should be pretty used to adding comments to other docs and things like that, and moving on. So it is a really nice way, I think, to give feedback, is just adding comments. All right, I'm going to try this because we haven't done it before. But there is this new tool on here that's compare documents, and we can, let's just pick a random one. Well, maybe not. We'll do another. No, I should have done that. So it'll compare it and gives, this is something I haven't tried. Have you tried it, Brenny? These two are really unrelated. All right, so it gives the original document and then tells you, I guess, what is overlapped, which is kind of interesting. That's my E-rate document. So oh, it even goes back and tells you format and font size.
It's like a detailed history of both documents, essentially, right?
Yeah, so this would be for if you think kids have been cheating off each other, essentially. That is interesting. So they're again adding features all the time. That is one that's the first time I've seen it. And then obviously with, again, pretty much almost all Google, you have these editing histories. So I can go in here and it's just going to show 2 versions, but we've done a lot of edits the last 38 minutes on this. So if you click the down arrow on it, it will give you specific edits every time. So you can know exactly who did what and when. And if you click on it, it will highlight what they did and essentially tell you what's different. So there's that was added at 2:16. And I can go back to this version. And again, you can go back to the current one too, but you can jump to any version you want. But it holds people responsible too, which is nice. There's some actual accountability in this. The first year that one of the high schools did senior projects on a Google Sheet, they had a kid in there that was messing with all sorts of links and they couldn't figure out what they were doing or who it was. And we just went to revision history and figured out who did it exactly and took care of that problem. So that, again, I think is another great way to at least look and have some accountability with that. And then sharing, of course, you can add collaborators, people that are going to have direct rights to it. You can change them to just viewing, comment editor, and then you can also get the link. So copy the link directly from here. It's defaulted at BCSE only and can view. So you can change it to editor, and then you can also change this to just nobody or very few people or anyone with this link. So there is options there. But this is the only real security concern with Google, is that it's as secure as your users make it. So if you give your students editing right to a document that you've made, then they can really, grab this link and throw it out there to anybody, but they can also edit it. So you have to make sure you are very aware of those sharing methods because there are consequences to it. So if I would put this link out to the web, essentially anybody anywhere can get on it and edit it or view it. And especially if we're talking about information that could potentially be private, that's where you get in trouble with some security things. It's just kind of like unlocking a door into all of what you have. Okay, any questions from there?
Nope.
All right, so I'm going to make you do a little bit of work here, at least experiment. So if you have access to this, and I'll grab it, what I want you to do is, I'll sign this out too, is click on that link if you have this doc open. And again, I'll put it in the chat here real quick. But let's assign this out. Maybe. Brenny, you participating?
Why not?
Sure. So this is kind of another thing you need to be aware of with docs, is if you have all of your students on a doc at once and you don't have a thought process on how to keep it organized, then it's going to be a big jumbled mess. So I would suggest numbering it, renaming it, or having them make their own copy of it. But essentially, we're not going to do that right now. So what I want you to do is enter a picture, hyperlink, or type it out of a food that you have been craving since we've been on pandemic. And maybe some of you have been out and been able to get that food, and maybe not. But maybe if that's the case, then think about something that you were dying to get, kind of that mid-April time frame when nothing was open, regardless of if you wanted it or not. Let me throw this in the chat. Actually, I can't.
Oh, sushi. Yes.
Oh, my favorite.
Here's the link. I haven't had sushi in so long,
That's gonna make me hungry.
but I definitely have a very specific one.
Imagine it.
So I'm doing the insert image from the web. Oh, yes.
Mm.
Oh, good choice.
Oh, Italian pasta. Okay, I am getting really hungry. This is not good. And it'll show like where Brenny is on here. So that's another thing about Google Docs is if you have a bunch of people on here, you're going to be able to see who's highlighting, who's moving down, because it really tracks what you're doing kind of real time, fortunately or unfortunately. Okay, that's good. So the other things in here were that I'd like you to create a new doc of some sort, whether that's uploading one or opening one, converting a Word document into a doc in some way, or just creating a new one and then sharing it with me. Make sure that you get Nicholas Williams and not Nick Williams, because there is a student out there with my same name. No, it is. Oh, don't share it with this kid who has whatever monster that is. That's interesting. Okay. It's easier in email because I'm listed as Nicholas and not Nick, but he shows up first all the time. It's a student at Mount Healthy.
Okay, now what do you want us?
Just create
Any
a doc.
document?
Yeah, create a document and then share it with us.
Okay.
Right now? Or
Yeah,
send
do it now.
Okay.
You guys did well on your inserting things. And if you're on It's Learning and this is an assignment for a kid, then you can set it up so that it gets shared and put into a folder. If you're just working with other teachers, or in this case, like how would I find these documents that you're sharing with me? What would be the easiest way? And if you volunteer that information, what would be the easiest way to find these documents that you're going to share with me?
I use my Chromebook. Another screen probably cannot show you, right? I just created a algebra 2A equation, and I use the new Google Doc.
Well, if I was going to share something with you, Ma, where would you look to find what I just shared with you?
Okay, let me.
And you don't need to share your screen, but just kind of.
Oh, we would go to Drive though. Am I right?
Yeah, that is one way. So going to Drive and then going to either recent or shared with me. So here I can see who has shared documents with me.
Okay, share with me. Click share with me.
I could do recent as well. So at this point, I'm not sure if anybody's shared anything with me. Now, I didn't give you a lot of time and I'm talking, but.
Because I use the Google Chrome, another one, so I can share with you, right? So I have to use the same laptop.
I don't think it matters. You can use Chromebook, you can use a laptop, you can use your phone if you want.
Okay, I use the Google, I use the Chromebook. How do I share with you?
It's all up in that this top button up here. So if you've made a document and then you click that share button, then you would type in the person's name.
No. Where is the meeting?
And it is tied to all of our BCSE accounts. So, I could find.
I'm sorry,
of you relatively
I'm also
quickly.
confused. I'm very sorry. Like I have created a Google Doc, but how do I share? Do I have to save to my Drive? And
Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you
Hang
see
on,
my-
I'm going to have to stop sharing. Hang on. Arpita, you do not, all you have to do is
this
go
one.
this.
I just make the very simple. There is an equation over there. Can you see that?
Yep. So click this
Yeah,
blue
because
button.
here I type in algebra 2a. Here I make the equation.
Yep.
For my, okay.
So then hit the blue button on the top right and then just type in my name.
Where? Here, right?
Top right, yep.
Yep, blue share button.
Okay. Type in your name.
Yeah, and it should have my Bitmoji on it, Nick Williams.
Okay.
yeah, me too. I'm also confused.
Did you make a new document, Arpita?
I did, but I don't know how to share. Do I have to save to my Drive first?
No, it automatically does that.
So if I will go to my Drive, what do I see? Like blank?
I send it to you. Do you see that?
I'll look here in a second, Ma. So,
Okay.
Arpita, so like the document that I just did, I'm going to go to recent and it should be here and it's right here. So this is the document that I made just now with all of the mitosis stuff on it. So it automatically, I don't know how often it does it, Brenny. Do you know how often it saves? It's like every second.
It's very often.
So even if you don't even title it, I'm sure I have a ton in here called untitled. Yeah, look at that. So even if you don't name your document, it's still going to be somewhere in your Drive. But to share with me, all you have to do is click this share button and then type in the person's name, and then it will send you an email notification and then also show up in.
Where do I get the share button on Doc?
It's not there?
No, I am. That's why I'm confused.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Okay, hang on. Let me stop sharing. I'm going to give you rights to share.
Titled.
1 second.
Bernie, I send one for you.
Okay.
So I can.
Now she's enjoying sharing with people. Do you want me to share?
Yeah.
Okay, share screen. Share. So if this is my doc.
Oh, whoa.
That's good.
That is good. Okay, so click the X on that top right. Right there, yeah.
This says close.
Yeah, no, that's just closing read and write Google. You're good.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's the arrow, the drop down arrow. It hit her toolbar.
Where is it? Oh, okay. Right there. Yep. No, I'm floating over it. Sorry. Our back up where you just hit the X. There's that down caret. Click on that. There it is.
There we go.
Got it.
It was hiding from you. It was trying
Yes.
to
This is easier now. Like,
Yes,
Okay,
it's a
so
lot
it's,
easier.
wait. It's so before you can share it, you do have to name it. So because yours is untitled document, it's saying, okay, name it something before you can share it. And then you can type
There
in
we
my
go.
name
Typing
there.
the name. Typing name.
where do I go and type?
The title's in the top left where it says untitled. Go up one.
Up.
Up. There. Click on it.
I got it. Oh
There
my
you go.
God. Okay.
And then title it whatever you want. Yeah. And then go to the share and then you can share it.
Okay. Got it.
And look, it is even pulling from your personal contacts. That's interesting.
No. This is actually, I'm not connected with my school.
Oh, all right. Well, that's where you would share it. So don't worry about that one.
My personal Gmail, I'm connected with like my,
Okay.
got it
Alright.
now. Okay, got it. All right.
You can stop sharing your screen now if you want to.
Sure. Just a second. My mouse, my everything is very slow. Stop sharing. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So, and I'll do this just to kind of wrap up here. So, if you do have things shared with you, you can search in recent, you can search in shared with me. So now, this is from Ma, and that should be the document that she sent to me. And she gave me you gave me editing rights, so I can go in there and see. Oh, that's good. I can go in there and edit if I need to. Another way is that you can just search for it if you're not remembering what it is, or let's just say that I don't exactly remember what it was, but I know I'm looking for something from Brenny. So I could actually type in Brenny's name, and it'll pull up everything that's ever been shared to me from Brenny.
Question, I'm sorry to interrupt. My question, suppose I have to divide my class into 6 groups or 5 groups of 5 each. And I will assign them like different topics to work on and to prepare slides. So how do I do that with this Google Doc? Like, so
I would do it.
Everyone can edit and everyone can, access at this, like 5 people of the one group can access, including me, or kind of that. How do we do that? Does it make sense what I say?
Yeah, no, that does. My thought is that you would assign it in its learning through that tool, because it'll automatically create folders for you from those classes when they submit their assignment to you. Is that correct, Brenny? You can expand on that more.
Yeah, when you use the It's Learning assignment tool and do the add a Google resource to it and click make a copy for each student, it makes folders in your Google.
Cannot hear your voice, Bernie.
Oh, really? I'm not on mute.
Yeah, I can hear you, Brenny.
I can also hear you. Okay. So it's always better to go through It's Learning and not through this.
Well, so Arpita, you have to make it in Google first, right? So you'd have to make the presentation and then give it as an assignment in It's Learning. Or if she wants them to create a presentation, then what, you would just give a template and then
Yeah,
they
you could
put that in?
Yeah, you could give the template and
We can
post out
provide
that template to everyone.
Yeah, I didn't pass like I provided the template to the whole class, but I really want like each group will have the different content or different topics, so that I can get like multiple things and multiple information.
I cannot hear.
Ma, hopefully you can hear it from the recording. So we'll publish the recording. I don't know what's going on with your computer though. So
5 topics, 5 groups will work separately. How do they do that? So it's always the advice like I should go with its learning and not with this. Because as having said in past, I actually used like one template for the whole class, which I really don't want this time when we are going into the block.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the way you want to distribute that template to students. If they're working in groups and you only want to send it to one student in the group, then you can just share it directly with that student. That student's an owner of that template, and then they can work through and share it with their other team members if they need to. If you want them to select from lots of different templates, then you could put links to those templates on a learning assignment, and they would have to go through and make their own copies of it.
Or just have them, put them in their groups and then tell them you need to make a Google slide, share it with your group, and then when you're done, share it with me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I mean, basically 5 different topics, then I have to prepare 5 different templates and distribute among 5 different groups.
Yeah, or just, like if you would do it in PowerPoint, right, you would tell them that you have these 5 different.
Got it. Like, yeah, and then you can prepare in Google Slides and then share with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then make sure they share with each other. That's the other nice thing. Like if you do that with PowerPoint, one kid's probably going to end up doing it all. They can easily divvy it up, or you can assign it. Like, somebody needs to do this section of the presentation. Another person needs to be these. And you can even look in revision histories and see, yes, it wasn't just one person doing all the group work.
No, you know why I want to do on Google? Reason behind that, last year the kids were having so many lame excuses. Oh no, my partner was not here. He was home. Kind of all those stupid, excuses. So this time, I know Google, you can access everywhere. So you can do that home, even you are home.
Yep. You don't need to get together.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, I appreciate your attentiveness. It is 3:01. So that is the longest Google Docs training I think I've ever done, but hopefully you got something out of it if you're already familiar with it. But thanks for coming. Have a good evening.
Really, thank you. And we enjoyed. And Miss Branny, I'm looking forward for those links, which I sent you the email. Because I do want to play with and learn, first of all, by myself. And when I need, I'll give you a call and just set up us like 15 minutes or like 20-minute session so that you can guide me.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you.